Ahura Mazda bless you.
Sorry about the big delay and the bit of a switch in schedule, guys, but now everything's going ahead. So we've got Greeky and Vahuva, and we're spawning in on Watering Hole today. So how are we all? The Prodigy himself on his Persians, pretty in pink. We've got Greeky, and top side of the map, playing as Alicia. As the Greeks, red is his favourite colour. We have Vahuva. Actually, I don't know if red is his favourite colour. I'll have to ask him. Anyway, guys, we are probably going to see some dock-oriented play, and we have a best of one. What is it with being a 20-minute process to try and get someone to fill a game I need now? But then the moment I do, 5 minutes later, 3 people hit me up, 1 in the stream and then 2 in private, that, yo man, I can fill now. I'm so sorry, but someone's got back to me already. So we've got Greeky actually opting to go for a triple storehouse opening first. You can sort of do it here on this map, but Hoover actually doing the same, so neither player committing to the dock just yet. Interesting. Interesting concept. Very safe though. They're both going to get on that second town centre very quickly. Be able to keep pumping out the villages. Be able to take a dock and immediately get warships. So I think that'll probably be a race to do that. And then follow it up with cavalry play. And I think Persia will have the slight advantage there in Age 2, considering Asabara very, very tanky. Strong against range fire, so they're actually good against the Sarasofroi, who are sort of neutral against the Asabara, really, in terms of their attack. Or in terms of their health. So I think the Greek player, Vahuva, is going to have to play around his spearmen a little bit more in Age 2, and then in Age 3. He's going to have a slight advantage in terms of hit and run because he'll have slightly faster cavalry, but at the same time, he'll probably not want to take direct fights. Because even though the Prodromo's good at taking Age 3 fights, not so good at taking Age 4 ones. And the mounted archers from Persian are very strong too, so both players aging up. Greeky's a tad faster, so I think he's done that. A village is slower. And neither player has taken a dock just yet, but really quick town centre here from Greeky. He's already managed to sneak it out very, very fast from the Prodigy. He's actually getting a very quick pickers, which is interesting. Even though he's got a safe hunt here with the second town centre, he's actually getting pickers. Perhaps not the choice that I would make, but he is the Prodigy, not I, so who am I to judge? Hoover, in the meanwhile, done what I would have. Taken hunting dogs, getting handsaw now already. Greeky, a little bit later on the handsaw, not in queue just yet. So Greeky probably going to look to get fast Asabara out in the field. I wonder if Vahuva is going to be able to cope with it. Because Greeky already has that second town centre out. Just a little bit faster than his opponent here. Pretty much perfect from Greeky. Vahuva still extremely good macro player. But just that village is slower in the build. Going to reward Greeky in terms of his village reduction. Saying that, Greeky's slower on the handsaw. So Vahuva going to be able to eke out a little bit more wood instead early on here, but the builds are pretty much for much really. Both are going for that second town centre before any production, but Greeky already throwing down the stables. We can't see anything yet from Vahuva today. He's actually throwing down a fifth storehouse before a production facility. Ricky had gone up to 4, so. But it's going to be the barracks to defend against the Asabara, so perhaps Hoover's just going to try and take age 3 before he even bothers getting his stables to defend in this position, or to try and harass his opponent at all. So Greeky actually taking the more dangerous berries first. Interesting, but he's also going to have map control, so it does make sense that he's going to be able to use this one safely later on, and already have burned through this by the time that Verhoover's going to have an advantage in terms of a raiding presence on the map. Because yeah, as we can see, the Greek throwing down the stables last in the chain, the Persian starting out with the stables. So, Greeky lucky to not get spotted here. At the same time, very quick Asabara build. 6 minutes and he's going to have it in a second. Already here, ready to go. Hoover in the meanwhile has some spearmen here to defend. Pretty hunkered down here, so these TCs are going to protect the majority of his workers. He's really going to have to pull these guys back to about here, and he'll be safe and sound. And saying that, these Asabara very good under the town centre fire. So Hoover's going to need to get these guys out of here quickly because he's going to drop a villager. And a Toxotes here. Another villager. No, Greeky's going to play it safe there for now. Try and fight the spears while he does have the unit count advantage because he actually can take the trade. As long as he doesn't lose the Asabara here, this is worthwhile. He's bleeding a bit of health, but as long as he can save this Asabara. Oh, that sort of interrupts things, but I mean he did get a worker there. So Verhoover marginally behind at the moment. Ricky could probably try and heal these guys up with A10 if he wished to do so. At the same time, it does involve bringing them back and does delay the opportunity to hit as soon as he gets another one out in the field. Or another. He's actually got another 2 here, so he could really push with the 4 of those 2 if he wanted. Maybe try and hit here, or just try and hit under the TC. But he also needs to be a little bit careful now, because there is a few more spearmen in play. And he did lose that Asabara, so that did suck for him. Hoover getting healing ointment. Where's his scout? I didn't even know he had a scout left. I can't see the Hoover's scout, so why is he getting ointment? Is it even alive? Oh, it is. Yeah, I know, that makes sense. Who might have questioned Hoover? So, temper coming out now from Greeky. He's going to spice things up. He's going to have a little more damage on these Asabara. So, he's going for mass Asabara in age 2. Only got... Oh, he's gone up to triple stables. I think he only had the pair. Probably can take that fight actually. There's only 3 spearmen, so it's just going to mean that if Hoover does bring everything across, he's going to have to back these guys out, but it does mean that he can push in on this flank. But for now, Hoover's defending Greeky over on this left side as well. And he's keeping everything stationary for now. Sari joining the mix as well. Ricky looking to mass everything up into a big ball and try and hit one side in particular, I think. is going to be the game here, because Verhoover is a nice split of his units across his base, and there is Toxotes, and they are going to be a nice high value target for the Persian, but the problem is he's not going to be able to easily get to them without risking one of these other patches of units collapsing on the army, unless he brings that much that he can get in before the furthermost group on one side can come in. And there's only 9 spearmen here, 21 Asabara, so they might be able to make it work now. Freaky pulls everything through, forces Verhoover to have to keep microing back the Toxotes, so that's good for these other guys fighting against the spearmen. And like I said, Riki has managed to overwhelm him here. Verhoover now, because he's got to come from the far side with his pack of spearmen. Riki not sticking around for now. And I don't know why he's parked a couple of Asabara here. Riki? Hello? What are you doing? Maybe he didn't intend to bring them back. I don't think he did, because he really had Verhoover on the ropes there, because actually this army's back over there again. Yeah, Greeky. The mind games, perhaps it's mind games, perhaps it's BM. But yeah, Greeky really pushing Verhoover in under his town centers now. This big mass of Toxotes. A lot of them are safe and sound in this, but a lot of them are also falling. Riki losing a fair few Asabara, so they are an expensive unit, but he also has more in terms of upgrades. So there's no armor upgrades at all for Verhoover. He's just got melee damage for the time being. Riki has all of his Age 2 upgrades. Melee damage. I mean, all of his Age 2 upgrades he needs on his Asabara. He's getting barbed arrows now, so he's got melee damage as well as melee and ranged armor. So Doc coming down for Verhoover. If you can get this out, this is going to be very useful. But at the same time, Asabara is probably the best thing Riki can have in Age 2 to deal with warships as well. That's not actually warships. Given that the cavalry are fast, they got a high amount of health, and they're quite big units as well, so even though they can tank extra hits themselves when they're by themselves, it means that if you've got groups of them, you don't really have to worry about the splash damage so much. But this is interesting. Greeky hitting Age 3, moving everything into the back of Verhoover's base, trying to really disrupt his wood gathering at the moment, force him to have to come back and defend. And the army is predominantly parked down here. Verhoover's only sent back just enough to mop this up, so this is good defensive play from Verhoover. He's lost a couple of farms and a lot of wood gatherers though, so Verhoover really having to fend off the targeted wood gatherer pressure there from Greeky. So he's really trying to deny Verhoover's ability to have enough wood to take Age 3 and get a whole bunch of stables out. You know, oh, he's already got the academy, but you know, add warships and stuff like that. Get the third town center out and really keep up in terms of the Age 3 wood requirement. So Verhoover, we're going to try and push out now, but he's also, you know, running his army back and forth on the spot just to make sure that there's a couple of spears in the mix of the units, but he's going to bring them all back now anyway, because Greeky not going to take the trade. Seceding a little bit of pressure while he gets the mounted archers out now. So these guys going to trade better against the spearmen, positively against the Toxotes. Really only going to be a worry against the Saris, but if you've got a nice wall of Asabara, especially now that Greeky is champion on them, not so much a problem. Greeky just sort of stalling for now. Try and interrupt the stop, which he does. He's going to get this villager to try and get the watch post out and keep the army away from seeing it go up. This is very smart maneuvering here from Greeky, but looks as though Verhoover's going to spot it anyway. So a bit unfortunate for Greeky, but good map presence there from Verhoover. He's going to kill the villager, force a lot of this cavalry back, maybe even kill a couple of Asabara. Get that just finished watch post. Oh, so I didn't see this at first. Greeky with a nice hit and run here, destroying the storehouse. Villager count 75 to 98. So Greeky actually ahead by 23 villagers at the moment. Very nice lead from him. He's forced for Hoover to have to go to the water, and out of desperation, there's no warships here, there's just undefended fishing boats, so they're all going to go down for free at the moment. Unfortunate for Hoover, but he does have a nice amount in the bank regardless. He's getting Sari champion, and he is going to repel Greeky for now. Greeky's map control is really good, and he just has lots of watch posts and storehouses everywhere. No A tent though, so he's not going to get any healing benefit from that. So if he does start to take damage on like his caravans and whatnot, they're not going to get the free health regen that Persia's known for. But saying that, I don't know if Greeky's going to need it right now. He seems to have a big lead over Hoover at the moment. He's still up drastically in population. He's pretty much going to be maxed out as his units come out of queue. For Hoover, going to have to try and get Sari champion, going to have to try and get these Prodromos out as well, but it looks as though for now the Hoover has destroyed Greeky's army. So Greeky trying to split all the mounted archers up and keep them alive, but it's not to be. A lot of low units here for the Greek player though. And healing is not an easy thing to access as the Greek. You only get it when you hit age 3, and you've actually, you've got to get priests or magus out to actually make any benefit of it. And the Persian, they can get A10. I mean, actually, it's priests, sorry, for Greek. Magus for Persian, they can get magus or they can get A10 from age 1. Other civs, obviously, they've also got earlier healing than Greek. So Greek and Norse, they are known for being civs where you can definitely walk away with a whole bunch of low units time and time again and really have it be your downfall in a mid-game or late-game fight. Greeky sneaking out the galley too, so he's going to pick off a lot of these low units, like I said. All these guys are going to go down for free. And Hoover doesn't really have the food to afford a good flood of Prodromos and Saris behind this. So if he's got to deal with mixed cavalry from the Persian, Greeky's really going to have the upper hand over him. And saying that, Hoover's cleared out this, but he's also left these guys over here. He's just moving them out now, and they're going to run head first. Ooh, but Greeky misses out on this too. So Hoover going to get these fishing boats of Greeky's for free. Very nice play. Already has a fire ship lined up as well to deal with the galley. Try and kill the rest of the fishing boats too. Hoover having to try and run these guys back out now. He's going to get a dock right next to Greeky here. So this is interesting. Wonder if he'll manage to get a warship out of... Oh, the villager is going to go down, so Hoover not going to be able to finish that dock up for now. That'll go down pretty quickly, just because it hasn't finished off, even against range units. But in saying that, Hoover catches these mounted archers to Greeky's. Some of them make it through though. A fortress coming out now for Greeky. A lot of idle villages here for Hoover. He's not down for the count though, so Greeky does have an age 4 advantage over him, got a couple of upgrades over him too, but Hoover is maxed out, does have a reasonable amount of wood and stone in the bank, still gathering plenty of food. His gold income's a little bit dubious, so I don't know if he has a market out yet, I don't think so. So that might be Hoover's downfall. He's actually going to be a bit low on gold here. He's going to try and get it over here if he can, but Greeky's run down all of his food gatherers right now. Forced him to gather in the town center again. Forced a lot of his army back, so now Greeky's gold gathering on that side of the map is safe. Over here, The town center is going to kill most of these villagers. They're not going to be able to get this down. Now that the army is turning around to try and take the fight, and I do think that Greeky has a little bit too much for Hoover now. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to take this fight against him. Greeky has the age 4 melee armor, melee damage upgrade, so he's going to be well off in a fight against the Greek, who does have all of his age 3 upgrades now for Hoover, so he is not that far behind. He's finishing up the market, but he's just spent the last minute and a half without any gold income, maybe a little bit longer, so that's really been rough for him. He hasn't been producing any units, he's been floating, wait, not floating, he's been sitting at 259 gold for about 2 minutes. He's just doing what he can to hold on, not throw away too many units, and try and get a good surround with the Saris on the mounted archers before they can get off kills on the Prodromus. Oops. But I think he's going to be out of units here. He's only going to get the 2 markets out in time, and he's not producing any caravans just yet. They're only just coming up now as the army's all going down, so he taps out. GG, well played, guys. But it seems Greeky just had the edge today. Well done, guys, and I really wish we had the time for a best of 3 with these guys, but I think Greeky's actually got to go. And it won't be too long before our next combatants show up, so that settles that series for the moment. Alright guys, sorry about all the delays, but it looks like we got a Egypt versus Persia game now with Verhoeven going to his Egypt, Pharos going on Persia. And it appears as though we're going to be starting out on inland, and I apologise, but this one's going to be best of one as well. So spawning as the purple Egyptian player today, we have Verhoeven. And spawning as the green Persian player, we've got Pharos. So give it up for these two folks. Pharos is spawning really close to this water, so it should be quite easy for him to actually get on it, but at the same time he's going to have to hold it. Otherwise, Verhoeven can actually push him off this hunt with warships. Same time, Verhoeven really quite close to this lake and slightly close to this one as well, so Pharos is going to definitely have to hold on to this one and try and fight for one of these two as well. Otherwise he's going to be behind economically. That is if both players are taking all the water possibilities they can. Hunting dogs early from Verhoeven, so even though it's inland, he wants that conservation, that gathering rate anyway. So Verhoeven managing to steal a couple of sheep here off Pharos. Scouting out the hunt there. So Verhoeven taking his first stock. Pharos looking to do the same. Oops. But I wonder, is he going to try and go for this one? Seems as though he is, actually, so this is interesting, but also good. Shows he's willing to try and fight for this, and then backtrack and take this, because then it is harder for Verhoeven to try and take this as well. Oh, what's Pharos doing? He's sent the villager down a little bit far, actually. Is he looking to do a proxy, perhaps? Verhoeven has no idea about this villager, so Pharos is going to do proxy racks and go for a big Spira push. This could really work in his favour if Verhoeven commits too much to the water too early and doesn't really figure out that it's coming. So here comes the first barracks. This is really risky play here from Pharos. There's nothing at home, and Verhoeven is eventually going to figure this out. Because he's going to know by now if there's no barracks, surely he's either gone for water or he's done a proxy, considering it's a big map. So, meanwhile Verhoeven committing to aging up, to taking more from the water. But for now, Verhoeven unaware about what's about to hit him. Pharos is going to commit to the unit that in Age 1 offers the best tankiness under the town centre fire. That's really quite spammable, cheap, easy to get to in the tech tree. So Pharos, I don't know if he's going to throw up another barracks or not. He's going to need to throw up more houses, so he needs to do that immediately. And he needs more wood to try and get the second barracks down. He's doing that now. He's actually gathering from the wood down here. Two wood gatherers, actually. Two gold gatherers, actually. It's interesting because he's going to bank up a lot of gold, a lot more than he really should here. Probably only needs one gold gatherer, and probably not even to get it until he's actually got the first few Spira out. So then he can really get this second barracks out a little bit quicker than he has for the most optimal Spira rush, because right now he's actually floating a lot of gold and food, and really, like I said, he could have had that barracks out Maybe even send a second villager, and he could have possibly even started on a third one by now. Really try and push and overwhelm his opponent, because Vahuva is going to have that second town center up soon, is going to have defensive options here at home with a barracks out or a stables out. So second barracks finishing up now for Pharos. He hasn't committed to any water yet. Vahuva still unaware of this. He's running a scout down now to see what's going on. It's probably about time he checks this, but he is going to see just as soon as the third barracks is being thrown down. So this is going to come at a crucial moment. He's only throwing down his first stables now. He's not going to cancel it. He's going to finish that off rather than getting his own barracks to try and get the axeman. He needs to defend right now. Pharos, walls to the wall. He's got hunting dogs, no dock yet. Defensive barracks as well. I'm not quite sure why he'd bother. You might as well just get another one and just push. Because at this point, his opponent has not really got anything to attack or defend with for another minute or so. You need to go straight on the villager zone and deny gathering time immediately with a push like this. He's going to go for the priestess though. Vahuva's just going to garrison her. And now he goes for the gold gatherers. Barracks being pushed out quickly by Vahuva now. So 3 barracks is down. Continuous spire production. Pharos has actually cut villager production now. I think in this position, if he's going to do that, he probably needs to look at taking both the docks he can safely take, because he's going to need to maximize his food gathering. He's got 6 food gatherers at the moment, which is really probably not enough. It's really pretty much all-inning Vahuva at this point. Even getting picker's gloves. Needs to try and either cancel these buildings, the one that's going up, or try and kill all these villagers, because right now he's focusing down a building and Vahuva's just repairing it. And the triple priestess really doing their job here. So I think Vahuva may have held. Pharos is streaming some more across the map, but there's plenty of axemen here to deal with this. There's a lot of idlers. 29 villages to 27, so Pharos not too far behind in terms of vill count, even though he's really cut them, because he's been killing a few, and he's going to get a priestess here perhaps. Oh no, good garrison there. Nice micro there from Vahuva, so he keeps his priestess alive. It seems as though Pharos has taken a little bit too long to do the push. So Pharos stuck in age 1, hasn't committed to the water yet at all, and he's lost a lot. He's going to have to rely on trying to get just enough spire to overwhelm Vahuva. He's getting spear champion himself, as well as conditioning, is it? No, what's the age 2 one? Yeah, conditioning. So Vahuva's going to be able to pump out spearmen and axemen relatively quickly, to be able to deal with the fact that he's got 1 less barracks than Pharos right now. He's going to have those axemen as well, so they're going to mean that he can take the fight to Pharos unless Pharos brings everything and manages to snipe the priestesses. But Pharos is actually going to push in up here and really make life difficult for Vahuva. He's going to try and focus down the barracks if he can. I don't know if he's going to be able to get it though. Vahuva's bringing everything back now in response. Another barracks was going to finish up there for Pharos, but he's unsuccessful. He's lost the villager, so he's going to have to send another one across the map. This barracks is going to finish up here, I believe. So Vahuva Looks as though he's out of the danger zone with this, because Pharos is still continuing to commit to the build, but he's stuck on 29 villages. Vahuva up to 40 now. And Tachara and Temper are going to finish up soon for Vahuva, so he's going to have a huge upgrade advantage over Pharos. He's effectively going to have the end Age 2 tech that he, is capable of getting, and Pharos is stuck in his Age 1 tech. He's just massing up Spara, pushing into his opponent, hoping to try and get the most positive trades he can here, but he needs to focus down this unfinished house. Needs to try and go for these workers first and force garrisons before he worries about trying to focus down buildings. Maybe even try and snipe some workers that don't get garrisoned. That would be the most high value snag he could get in this position. He is going to get a house though. And he is... the barracks is just going to get repaired once again, so is he going to keep continuing to make the same mistake at the moment? I think he is. The Axemen, with that temper, are going to be really dealing a lot of damage. So they're dealing about 28 damage per hit against the Spara, so even with their high health pool, it's just not going to be enough. And Pharos, scores fading into obscurity at this point. He's lost one of the barracks down the south. Vahuva is continuing to expand outwards. Another barracks here from Pharos, but he's got nothing in the bank. Vahuva, stacks of gold, so as long as he can continue gathering this food safely, he's actually got both these docks as well, so he's continuing to just make the Axeman. He's got that age lead. Pharos is really running out of the position in which this sort of all-in is going to keep working, so Vahuva's pretty much held from here, I believe. He's just going to be able to max out and push behind this. Like, look at his population compared to Pharos at this point. Barracks are under threat once again. Pharos is a couple more here. He's on the hunt, but like I said, he's not committed to either dock, not transitioned behind this into anything, so he's gonna have to tap out. GG is called. Well played to Vahuva, well played to Pharos, but it seems as though the proxy not as clean as could be, and Vahuva takes the victory. Now, apologies, guys, but I think Faros is going to go, and Taz hasn't shown up. No one's really biting for a filler game, so apologies about today's bit of a all over the place stream. But thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.